Hey, welcome to Life in the God Lane. This is a power verse for the day for Saturday, July the 9th, 2022. I'm Tom West. And listen, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, Life in the God Lane. Hit the bell so you get notified every time I do something. I put something out at least once a day. Give me thumbs up, make comments, help me get this out to as many people as I can. I call this Train Those Children. It's Proverbs 22, verse 6, that might be familiar to you. It says this: train a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not turn from it. Train your children when they're young. That means train them how to live. Train them in the way they should go, the way they ought to live their life. Train them when they're young. So here is the corresponding promise to training the child in the way he should go. It is this: when he's old, he will not turn from it. Train your children how to live right when they're young. They may wander in the teen years and as young adults. I certainly did. But as maturity kicks in, they'll return to the way they were trained. It's the nature of things. So train them when they're young. By the way, parents and grandparents should both be involved in that. Gosh, we need grandparents. Without my grandpa especially, and my grandma, my mother's parents, there is no way that I would be what I am today as it relates to walking with the Lord. We need parents and grandparents involved in kids' lives. My parents had 2 cars when we were growing up because they both worked. So to go to church, we typically went in 2 cars because Dad was 15 minutes ahead of Mom. And I learned from him. I hate being late. And so did he. In fact, he said, if I'm not 15 minutes early, when you find me, throw dirt on me because I'm dead. He hated being late. He was always early. And I learned that from him. I love to be early. I get places long beforehand. I'm waiting. My parents modeled and taught putting God first. Put him first in your life. My grandfather, my mother's dad, Tom Bishop was his name. He modeled that, and I've never been able to get away from his model. I caught him studying the Bible, and I caught him in prayer. You know why? That's how he lived. That's why. And we were close enough to them that I saw that in him. I caught him doing those things. He taught and demonstrated walking with God. He died when I was 12. One of the most tragic losses I've had. But his teaching and his example in teaching is still something that I cannot escape. I can't get away from it. He went to be with the Lord 61 years ago. 61 years ago. His teaching and his example of letting God speak to him daily in the Bible and speaking back to God in prayer, practicing a relationship with God, has dragged me out of sin and to the Lord a decade after I lost him. I was 22. And I came back to Jesus because I couldn't get my grandpa off my mind. It dragged me back to the Lord because he demonstrated the life of Jesus in my presence, and I caught it from him. For about 50 years now, I start my day in serious Bible study and prayer, and I'm 15 minutes early to everything. Why? I was trained that way when I was young, that's why. And now I'm old, and I won't turn from those things. That's how I live. Parents and grandparents, train your kids in the things of God. You know, it's not about church, it's about families. It doesn't mean that the church doesn't have its place, it does. But families, train your kids. Mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, train your kids to be godly people, and they will be. Talk to you tomorrow.